Greetings, friends. My name is Pavlo Stelmach, and now we'll unveil the top news of these days. Putin instructed the general staff to conduct exercises in the near future, during which a set of measures will be implemented to practice the preparation and use of tactical nuclear weapons. This was reported by the Ministry of Defense of Russia. Well, the count of Russia's nuclear threats has reset to zero again. Of course, the Kremlin blamed the terrible West for everything. Allegedly, the training takes place for the readiness of response and with the aim of unconditionally ensuring territorial integrity and sovereignty in response to provocative statements and threats by Western officials. The exercises will be conducted with rocket launchers of the Southern Military District and Navy forces. The fact that Putin instructed to conduct training on tactical nuclear weapons is not only an element of intimidation of the West and a response to statements about the possibility of appearance of NATO troops in Ukraine. This is also an illustration of the fact that Putin no longer has any other levers, arguments, or jokers.
Currently, we do not observe anything new, except the informational effect and statements. All the necessary information is collected, and the Ukrainian special services and the free world are working on it. Nuclear blackmail is a consistent practice of the Putin regime. There is no epoch-making news here. Andriy Yusov, representative of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, on the air of Ukrainian national teletone.
After all, Ukraine is gradually destroying the means of Russian nuclear triad and inflicting very painful blows on Russian energy. And last month, the Tu-22M3 was shot down. This plane was one of the long-range bombers that fired missiles into Ukrainian territory. Russian media reported that 2 crew members were evacuated after ejection and 2 more died. This was the first successful air destruction of a strategic bomber during Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine. The cost of such an aircraft is about $300 million. This is also the first aircraft from the Russian long-range strategic aviation, one of the points of the Russian nuclear triad. By the way, according to official information from the Kremlin, the cause of the fall was Russian air defense system. Because if they admit that it was done by Ukrainians, they have to react. And there are no opportunities to react at all. After all, even there is delays in help from our partners, the soldiers are holding the front line as much as possible with a shortage of shells. Also earlier, soldiers of the Security Service of Ukraine hit the Russian long-range radar complex Nebo-U in the Bryansk region, which controlled the sky 700 kilometers deep into Ukraine. The affected complex helped the occupiers detect Ukrainian weapons and supported bombers attacking the Ukrainian border with anti-aircraft missiles. Well, we in Ukraine have been expecting strikes with tactical nuclear weapons for 2 years already. And it is indicated that the combat use of tactical nuclear weapons will be practiced with the aim of unconditionally ensuring the territorial integrity and sovereignty of the Russian state in response to provocative statements and threats of certain Western officials against the Russian Federation. It is not reported which persons and statements are in question. Non-strategic tactical nuclear weapons are nuclear munitions, the means of delivery of which are short-range missiles with relatively, compared to strategic weapons, low power. For example, several kilotons in TNT equivalent. In particular, Iskander missile complexes can carry tactical nuclear weapons. This weapon was recently placed in Belarus. According to estimates, Russia has the largest stockpile of such weapons in the world. It was never used on the battlefield. European special services have warned that Russia is planning coordinated sabotage across the continent. They warned their governments that Moscow, because it had set a course for permanent conflict with the West, Russia has already begun to more actively prepare secret explosions, arson and damage to infrastructure on European territory, directly and through cover persons. Although Kremlin agents have a long history of such operations and have carried out attacks in Europe in recent years, evidence of a more aggressive and coordinated effort is emerging. On Friday, a large-scale fire broke out at a factory in Berlin belonging to the Diehl Arms Company, which also supplies weapons to Ukraine, which cannot be repaired for the 3rd day already. Recently, 2 German and Russian citizens were arrested and accused of preparing an attack on military and logistical facilities in Germany. At the end of April, 2 men in Great Britain were charged with setting a fire at the warehouse with air cargoes for Ukraine. In Sweden, security services are investigating a series of recent train accidents they suspect may be acts of sabotage by the Russian Federation. Moscow tried to destroy signaling systems on Czech railways, and in Estonia, Russian intelligence operatives attacked the interior minister and journalists in February.
Fortunately, there is a revanchist, anti-European dictatorship to the east of Europe that wishes to destroy peace on our continent and will not stop until it is stopped. We cannot stop it with mere political statements. This is only achievable through superior firepower. Russia's current pace of militarization is the highest since Soviet times. We are in a race against time. I hate to say it, but we are already in a new arms race, whether we realize it or not, whether we like it or not. We cannot simply close our eyes to this reality and hope it goes away. What we can do is win it and deter aggressive Russia by demonstrating that Europe has the means to defend itself. Today, expanding Ukraine's and EU defense industrial capacities is a political issue, and it requires a political push, a push that will transcend the whole system from the government to the welder who is working on steel.
By the way, the island of Cyprus has become an outpost of the Kremlin in the European Union. This is stated by the Dossier Center investigation. Cyprus has not expelled a single Russian diplomat since the start of the war against Ukraine, although dozens of other EU countries have done so. The new ambassador of the Russian Federation in Cyprus is the Lieutenant General of the FSB without diplomatic experience. Pro-Russian organizations are also active in Cyprus, which conduct propaganda activities and recruit agents. The Russian Federation uses Cypriot emigrants to influence the island's politics, including elections. Russian special services control the Russian-language press in Cyprus. There is also a possibility that the Russian Federation influenced the national educational process in Cyprus. Special services are actively working in Cyprus despite the sanctions. At the same time, the authorities of Cyprus do not interfere with the activities of Russian agents. As a result of the conducted operation of the main intelligence directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, the Russian high-speed patrol boat of Project Mongoose was destroyed by a Magura V5 attack marine drone. Boats of this class are used by the enemy fleet and special services as multi-purpose high-speed vessels for patrolling the water area, fighting against saboteurs as well as search and rescue operations. Mongoose have been produced since 2000. The maximum speed is up to 90 kilometers. The modified versions of the speedboats are equipped with combat remote-controlled modules, with the main standard weapon, a 14.5mm machine gun. The Russians also have 2 automatic grenade launchers, a manual anti-sabotage grenade launcher, and 2 Igla or Verba-type manpads on the board of the Mongoose. The estimated value of the destroyed Mongoose is about $3 million. Successful mission in the Uska Bay on the territory of the temporarily occupied Crimea was made possible with the assistance of the United 24 platform. As the fear of Ukrainian attacks forces the occupiers to hide the large ships of the Black Sea Fleet away from the peninsula, combat work continues against the high-speed maneuverable warships of the Russians, which are illegally in the Ukrainian territorial waters of Crimea. Despite the fact that Ukraine does not have a powerful navy, drone and missile strikes over the past 2 years have crippled or destroyed a third of Russia's Black Sea Fleet and deprived Moscow of control of the sea, unlike anything seen in modern history. Ukraine's impressive naval success have boosted maritime trade with tens of millions of tons of cargo passing through the Black Sea in recent months, as exports from Odessa and other key ports returned to pre-war levels. Ukraine's success in the Black Sea is of strategic and economic importance, reports the Financial Times. Without its own fleet, Ukraine has reduced the potential of the Russian Black Sea Fleet by more than $4 billion. That concludes our today's video. Thank you for watching. Stay updated, comment, like, and subscribe to our UATV channel for more news from Ukraine. Your support is that really matters for us. Goodbye.